Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Woohoon. God level selection for instant upgrades. Chapter 61. Qi Ling and Xiao Wu were rushing through the forest, hoping to join Shrek and the others as soon as possible, but Qi Ling vaguely heard Ma Hongjun's voice coming from afar. Ma Hongjun seems to be over there, I heard his voice. Qi Ling said, it seems they have also set out to find us. Really? Hee, I knew that since my sister Xiao Wu is so cute, they would definitely be worried about me. Xiao Wu said happily. After all, being cared about by others is always a wonderful experience. You girl, don't do such worrying things next time. Qi Ling said dotingly. Although he didn't say it out loud, Qi Ling was a little worried in his heart, because according to his memory, Tang San should be absorbing the human-faced demon spider's soul ring at this time, and then obtain his own external soul bone 8 spider spear. However, the human-faced demon spider was an extremely ferocious king of spiders, and Tang San even forcibly absorbed it when he was seriously injured. It could be said to be full of dangers, and the slightest mistake would cause serious consequences. More importantly, Dragon Duke Meng Shu, who was supposed to severely injure the man-faced demon spider, was consumed by the golden holy dragon, so the man-faced demon spider should still retain its full strength at this time. Under the influence of so many accidental factors, could Tang San still successfully defeat the man-faced demon spider and absorb his third spirit ring? With a little worry, Qi Ling quickened his pace and rushed towards where Ma Hongjun's voice came from, and soon saw the Shrek people. Everyone was naturally very happy to see Qi Ling and Xiao Wu return safely, but they had no time to ask them, because as Qi Ling expected, Tang San was now absorbing the soul ring of the man-faced demon spider through leaps and bounds. The absorption process should have been extremely smooth, but Tang San seemed to be in extreme pain, with blood even faintly flowing from the corners of his mouth, and the vitality of his body was also rapidly passing away. How could it be possible? Third brother, don't scare me. Looking at Tang San's appearance, Xiao Wu said worriedly, third brother is strong and absorbing the soul ring shouldn't be so painful. How could this happen? Qi Ling looked at the body of the man-faced demon spider on one side and said, Xiaosun is too impatient. This man-faced demon spider is more than 2,000 years old and has exceeded its absorption limit. What? When everyone heard Qi Ling's words, they all screamed. Everyone knows very clearly the serious consequences of absorbing a soul ring beyond the age limit. This is clearly a gamble with one's life. Damn it, if only I had stopped him earlier. If something happens to the mistress, how can I explain it to the dean? Zhao Wuji punched the tree in class 1 hard, almost breaking it. How could this happen, third brother? Brother Qi, please think of a way to save third brother. Xiao Wu said anxiously, but she could only instinctively ask Qi Ling for help. Qi Ling came to the front of Tang San and carefully observed his condition. A black energy spread from Tang San's body and hovered over his face. It was this black energy that caused Tang San to behave like this, pain. Xiao San has a solid physical foundation and has practiced Xuantian Kong, so under normal circumstances, he can barely absorb even a 3,000-year-old soul ring. Qi Ling said. What really makes him suffer so much is the human-faced demon spider, a soul beast. To be more precise, it is the evil nature of the human-faced demon spider itself. Zhao Wuji frowned and said, evil nature. Isn't this kind of thing too illusory? Not at all. The most common thing about this thing is the inner demons generated during our cultivation. If we are not careful, it will lead to obsession. Qi Ling explained, it's just that the evil thoughts that Xiaosun is facing now, it was brought to him by the man-faced demon spider. But, how should we solve this problem? It seems that no one among us knows how to do this. Zhao Wuji said worriedly. Ding dong. It is detected that the host is facing a choice, please make a choice among the following options. Option 1. Leave Tang San alone, let the man-faced demon spider's evil thoughts develop, and get the reward. Tang San has a 10% chance of surviving, his soul power will stagnate for a year, and Shrek Academy will be disbanded. Option 2. Take Tang San immediately to a nearby town for medical treatment, or find other solutions, and get a reward. Tang San has a 30% chance of surviving, and the soul power of all members of Shli Academy will be stagnant for 1 year. Option 3. Use the characteristics of your own soul skills to dispel Tang San's evil thoughts, save Tang San, and get rewards. the life of the Dragon Emperor's first soul ring will be increased by 500 years, and the first soul skill, 9 Heavens Dragon's Roar, will be upgraded to a 1000-year soul skill, and you will get additional bonuses. Effect: Prestige +1, Tang San's favorability +10%. Of the three options, Qi Ling had no reason to choose the first two. Presumably the reason for those punishments was because once Tang San died, it would naturally have a huge impact on the plot. As for the reward of the third option, it can be said that Qi Ling is extremely satisfied. After all, for a person with obsessive-compulsive disorder like him, his yellow soul ring has long been displeasing to his eyes, so it would be better to replace them all with purple ones. Tidy. What's more important is that his first soul skill, which seems a bit useless, has also been given new abilities, which can be said to be the icing on the cake and even more powerful. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for choosing option 3, using his own soul skills to save Tang San, and get rewards. The life of the Dragon Emperor's first soul ring has been increased by 500 years, and the first soul skill, 9 Heavens Dragon's Roar, has been upgraded to a 1000-year soul skill, and he has received additional effects: Prestige +1. Tang San's favorability +10%. Feeling the sudden increase in his soul power, Qi Ling couldn't help but be overjoyed, and the new ability of the first-level soul skill was just enough to save Tang San. Everyone, step back and leave enough space for Xiao San and me. Qi Ling suddenly said at this moment, the absorbed soul ring cannot be moved, so let me save Tang San. Qi Ling, are you sure? If this is not handled well, it will be the end of death. Zhao Wuji said worriedly. Don't worry, Teacher Zhao, I am Xiao San's eldest brother. If I am not sure, I will never take action, Qi Ling said. Hearing that Qi Ling was so confident, everyone immediately stood up, leaving enough space for Qi Ling to perform. Dragon Emperor. Possession. Qi Ling summoned his martial spirit and possessed him. The mighty and domineering dragon phantom rushed into Qi Ling's body with endless pressure. This was originally a scene that everyone was very familiar with, but this time, they discovered something different. Qi Ling, did I see it wrong? Why did your soul ring turn into 2 purple and 1 black? Oscar widened his eyes and said, could it be that your third soul ring actually absorbed a 10,000-year soul ring? Ah, that's right. It just so happened that the Golden Holy Dragon's soul ring lasted 10,000 years, so I absorbed it. Qi Ling said, I must be lucky. Everyone was ashamed. Tang San absorbed a 2,000-year-old soul ring and was tortured to death. Qi Ling still needed to save him, but Qi Ling absorbed a 10,000-year soul ring and seemed so calm. It was really a comparison between people. So annoying. But that's not right. Isn't your first spirit ring a 100-year spirit ring? Why did it suddenly become a 1000-year spirit ring? Oscar asked, confused. Regarding this point, Qi Ling had already thought of an excuse, so he said, because the soul power of the Golden Holy Dragon is too powerful, my body cannot absorb it at all. Perhaps the extra soul power was absorbed by my soul ring, so it evolved. After hearing Qi Ling's explanation, everyone was no longer surprised. After all, too many unexplainable things had happened to Qi Ling, and they were all numb to it. If things go on like this, no one will be surprised if Qi Ling suddenly turns into a titled Duluo the next day. Naturally, Qi Ling chose to possess the Divine Dragon Emperor because he wanted to use the Divine Dragon Emperor's soul skills to save Tang San. The first soul skill, 9 Heavens Dragon Roar. The purple first soul ring lit up, and Qi Ling's evolved soul skill was displayed in front of everyone for the first time. The original Dragon Roar of the 9 Heavens only had the function of forcing a stun, but after the upgrade, the Dragon Roar of the 9 Heavens can be used on one's own teammates. After using it on your own people, you can use the sound of Dragon Roar to make your teammates conscious, relieve all hallucinations and mental bad states, and keep your mind clear. Tang San, who was struggling against the evil thoughts of the man-faced demon spider, suddenly heard the familiar dragon roar from his ears. What was different from the past was that the dragon's roar did not make him feel uncomfortable. Instead, his mind cleared and he became much more awake. And the evil thoughts that had been entangled with him actually began to struggle painfully after the magnificent dragon roar sounded, as if they were suffering from great pain. Good opportunity. Tang San saw the opportunity, and with the help of the dragon's roar, relying on his strong willpower, he forced this evil thought out of his mind. Everyone could only see that amidst Qi Ling's dragon roar, Tang San's expression gradually improved, and the black energy surrounding his body slowly faded downwards, finally dissipating invisible in the air. More importantly, the vitality in Tang San's body also began to reappear, which meant that he had regained control, completed the absorption of the spirit ring, and began to operate his own skills. What happened after that seemed to come very naturally. 8 spider spears grew from behind Tang San, holding him high in the air. At the same time, a large amount of blue-silver grass grew, like a cocoon, wrapping him inside. Okay, the most dangerous period for Shaoxin has passed. What we have to do next is to wait for him to complete the absorption of the soul ring and break out of the cocoon. Qi Ling found a tree and sat down with his back to it. Now, he can finally take a breath. Hearing what Qi Ling said, everyone immediately felt relieved. Xiao Wu happily hugged Qi Ling's face and kissed her, saying, "Yeah. I knew you were the best, Brother Qi. Boss Qi is indeed Boss Qi. Nothing can trouble you." Ma Hongjun also said at this time, "By the way, Boss Qi, how did you obtain this 10,000-year soul ring? Tell us." "Yes, and you went after Xiao Wu. What happened? We are also very curious. Did you really defeat the Titan Ape?" Oscar boldly guessed. "Xiao Ao, you are joking. I can't handle an opponent of the Titan Ape's level." Qi Ling said, "Since you want to hear it, I'll tell you about it." At that moment, Qi Ling told everyone the key points of what had happened before, but of course, Xiao Wu's identity was concealed. When they heard that Qi Ling could actually join forces with a Contra to defeat the dragon, everyone gasped. This was like a fairy tale, it was too hard to believe. Everyone seemed to be listening to a story. After listening to Qi Ling tell his story, everyone began to wait for Tang San to break out of his cocoon. This wait lasted a day and a night. The next day, the reborn Tang San finally appeared in front of everyone. Carrying 8 spider spears on his back, he looked even more mysterious. "Ha ha ha, Xiao San, why did you grow 8 spider legs? Will you turn into a big spider in the future?" Ma Hongjun said while curiously reaching out to touch Tang San's spider spear. "Be careful, don't touch." Stopping voices came from Qi Ling and Tang San's mouths at the same time, but unfortunately it was too late. Ma Hongjun's eyes were blurred again and he was poisoned and fell to the ground. "Oh, really, you fat man, when will you learn a lesson?" Qi Ling said helplessly. "Xiao San, stab the fat man with your spider legs and suck out the toxins from his body. Otherwise, he will really die this time." When Tang San heard what Qi Ling said, he moved the spider spear behind him with difficulty to detoxify Ma Hongjun, but he was thinking in his heart why his elder brother seemed to know more about this spider spear than he did. After that, everyone celebrated that Tang San was safe and sound, and then prepared to return to the hotel in the town. Since everyone got what they wanted, there was no need for them to stay here anymore. But when Qi Ling was leaving, he suddenly said to everyone, "By the way, I still have one thing to do. You go to the hotel in the town and wait for me. I will be back soon." Meng Yiren, who was looking for a soul ring suitable for him outside the Star Forest, casually kicked away a jade frog, looking uneasy. When Longdong Mengshu saw his granddaughter like this, he couldn't help but laugh as a person who had been there before. "Yiren, don't worry, that kid will be fine." Who said I was worried about him? I wasn't," Meng Yiren said, but then he worried again. "The Titan Ape is so powerful, will he be okay?" "Haha, don't worry. Although Qi Ling seems to be reckless in doing things, he is actually very shrewd in his heart. He will not take action on things that he is not sure about." Meng Shu said with a smile. "HMPH, this little thief still owes me a soul ring. I can't just let him go." Meng Yiren said. "Am I so untrustworthy in your eyes? It really makes me sad." At this moment, Qi Ling's voice came from above Meng Yiren, startling her. Meng Yiren looked up and saw Qi Ling sitting on a branch, smiling brightly and looking at Meng Yiren below, and he was holding an unknown snake in his hand. "Why are you here? Where is the Titan Ape?" Meng Yiren asked happily when he saw that Qi Ling was safe and sound. "Haha, it ran away and I almost caught it," Qi Ling said with a smile. "HMPH, bragging," Meng still said in disbelief. "If you don't believe me, throw me down. This is the soul ring I promised you to find. I'm not a trustworthy person," Qi Ling said, jumped down from the tree, and placed the snake in his hand in front of Meng Yiren. Duke Long Meng Shu looked at the snake in Qiling's hand, nodded slightly and said, "Yeah. The Blackwater Black Snake, the characteristics of this kind of soul beast, are indeed very suitable for Yi. Little friend Qiling is determined." Meng Yiren also said happily, "Wow. It's really the Blackwater Black Snake. Qiling, you are so awesome. I just don't know which one is better, this Blackwater Black Snake or that Phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake. The Phoenix-tailed coxcomb is known for its speed. If you still absorb its soul ring, I estimate that the most likely possibility is that you will obtain an auxiliary soul skill related to speed." Qiling said eloquently. "And this Blackwater Black Snake is a soul beast known for its defense, especially its black armor and scales, which are extremely hard. So if you absorb its soul ring, you will most likely obtain a defensive soul skills." Meng Yiren was stunned when she heard what Qiling said. She had never seen a person who knew so much about soul beasts, and even analyzed clearly what kind of soul rings could be obtained after absorbing the soul rings. "Okay, then I will listen to you and absorb the soul ring of this Blackwater Snake," Meng Yiren said, about to kill the Blackwater Snake to obtain the soul ring. But Qiling stopped her at this moment and said, "Wait a moment, Yiren, you have to absorb the soul ring of this Blackwater Snake. There is another problem, and that is its age. This Blackwater Black Snake should be around 1,900 years old. For you, it has exceeded the absorption limit. If you absorb it rashly, you may be in danger. What should I do? Can't I absorb the soul ring of this snake?" Meng Yiren suddenly became disappointed when he thought that his joy might be in vain. "Haha, if it really can't be absorbed, how can I give it to you?" Qiling took out a herbal medicine with a smile and said to Meng Yiren, "This spirit ascension pill can temporarily enhance your soul power. Expand your body's soul power tolerance. As long as you take it before absorbing the soul ring, you can increase the number of years you can bear the soul ring by 200 years. Thus, you can meet the conditions to absorb the soul ring of this Blackwater Black Snake." The spirit ascension pill in Qiling's hand was originally specially made according to the records in the Huatuo Ji Shi Jing, before he went to the Stardo Forest, in order to prevent the problem of the soul ring being unable to be absorbed. Originally, Qiling planned to give this medicine to Tang San, so that the risk of him absorbing the man-faced demon spider would be greatly reduced. But unexpectedly, Tang San did not wait for Qiling and absorbed the spirit ring of the man-faced demon spider in advance, so he had to leave the medicine for Meng Yiren. Looking at the medicine in Qiling's hand, Meng Shu's eyes widened in shock. With his strength and knowledge, there were not many things that could surprise him, but the Shengeling pill in Qiling's hand was undoubtedly one of them. 1. Being able to increase the upper limit of the number of years a soul master can absorb soul rings means that it can greatly increase the soul master's strength and increase the life of the soul master's soul rings. It is no exaggeration to say that it is the panacea that any soul master dreams of. Meng Shu can be sure that if this medicine is circulated outside, it will definitely be a treasure that will cause competition among various forces, because he has never seen a medicine with the same effect. "Little friend Qiling, do you really want to give such a precious medicine to Yiren?" Meng Shu said in disbelief. After all, this medicine is too precious. Qiling didn't feel anything. After all, as long as there is a prescription for this medicine, the ingredients are not that rare, so he said, "That's natural, it's just a medicine. I just want to give it to Yiren. My little friend's generosity really makes me admire you. Please accept my respect," Meng Shu said, bowing to Qiling. "If you ask for anything in the future, I, Meng Shu, will do my best." Qiling hurriedly held Meng Shu's hand and said, "Senior Meng, what are you talking about? Since you called me a little friend, why did you say such intrusive words?" Meng Shu laughed and said, "Ha ha ha, I am so pedantic. I am really lucky to be able to make friends with people like Xiaoyu." Meng Yiren saw Meng Shu's reaction and realized how precious the spirit-raising pill Qiling gave him was. He couldn't help but feel sweet in his heart and said, "Qiling, thank you for giving me such a precious medicine. It's a trivial matter, but you'd better absorb the soul ring of this Blackwater Snake as soon as possible. With Senior Meng protecting you, there shouldn't be any problems." Qiling said, "My companions are still waiting for me, then I'll leave first." As soon as Meng Yiren heard that Qiling was leaving, he immediately said reluctantly, Then can we meet again in the future?" I will definitely do it. As long as you practice hard, we will be able to meet sooner or later. Qi Ling said with a smile, then turned around and left in the distance. Seeing his granddaughter silently making up her mind and planning to practice hard, Meng Shu could only sigh that she was not admitted to the university. The teachings he had devoted so many years to were not as good as this kid's words. It was simply infuriating. After Qi Ling left, he recalled Meng Shu's appearance and suddenly realized that perhaps he had underestimated the importance of these drugs. In this world, people regard soul rings and soul beasts as the most important things, but as everyone knows, there are many miraculous medicines with equally amazing effects, and they are not even valued as much as a soul bone. If you can make good use of these drugs, you will definitely get huge help. But if it is not used properly, it may lead to disaster and endless troubles. It seems that I will have to pay more attention to this aspect in the future. Qi Ling thought to himself, maybe we can study some medicines with less outstanding effects first to test the reaction of people in the world. Regarding this matter, Qi Ling felt that he could discuss it with Tang San. After all, as a poison master, he naturally had a certain level of understanding of pharmacology. But at that time, he and Tang San had hidden weapons and elixirs, two means of opening up the market. If they wanted to compete with the power of this world, this would be their surefire move. After returning to the hotel in the small town, everyone had already taken their seats, ordered wine and food, and was about to have a good drink just waiting for Qi Ling to arrive. Seeing Qi Ling's return, Zhao Wuji immediately said, "Haha, our great hero is finally back, so we can wait easily. Come on, punish yourself with 3 drinks first." Qi Ling poured 3 bowls of wine nonchalantly and drank it without frowning. To him, these wines were nothing more than trivial matters. After that, Oscar and Ma Hongjun came to toast Qi Ling respectively. One was to thank Qi Ling for saving his life, and the other was to thank Qi Ling for helping him obtain the soul ring. Qi Ling drank it without hesitation. Then, Tang San actually raised a glass of wine, brought it to him and said, "Brother, I toast you this glass. I have heard what everyone said. This time I absorbed the soul ring and was saved by my elder brother again. Ever since I was a child, I have owed my life to my elder brother. I would like to express my sincere gratitude." Qi Ling smiled and raised his wine and said, "Xiao San, you don't need to say more, I am your eldest brother, these are naturally what I should do. The brotherhood between you and me is as strong as gold, and I am very happy to have you. Such a brother." Watching Tang San and Qi Ling drink the wine together, everyone smiled, especially Xiao Wu who smiled the happiest. These are the 2 closest people to her, and they are also her proudest brothers. How can she not be happy to see the 2 of them having such a deep brotherly love? After completely relaxing in the hotel for 2 days, everyone set out on their way back, and finally rushed back to Shrek Academy in the evening. "Okay, you all go back to your dormitory to rest. I will report the situation of these days to the dean." Zhao Wuji said to everyone, "You must have a good rest. What awaits you tomorrow is more rigorous training." "Tang San, wait a minute, I have something to tell you." Ning Rongrong stopped Tang San at this moment and said to him. Previously in the Star Forest, Tang San had demonstrated the power of his hidden weapon to everyone, and Ning Rongrong was extremely interested after seeing it. If such a weapon that can be used for self-defense and is easy to carry can be equipped to an auxiliary soul master, it will undoubtedly increase the survival rate of the soul master, which is of great significance to an auxiliary sect like the Qibao Glazed sect. After Tang San understood Ning Rongrong's plan, he agreed to study this matter with her. After all, this was also an extremely important matter for Tang San. At this moment, Qi Ling also said, "Xiao San, wait a minute, I also have something to ask you." Ning Rongrong blushed and said, "What?" "Qi Ling, what do you want to do with Tang San? Don't get me wrong, he and I have nothing to do with each other, I'm only looking for him too." Quote, "You girl, what have you been thinking about all day?" Qi Ling tapped Ning Rongrong's forehead helplessly, "I really have something to discuss with my mistress." When Ning Rongrong heard this, she immediately blushed with embarrassment, so she decided to listen to what Qi Ling had to say to Tang San first, and then discuss her own affairs with Tang San alone later. Immediately the 3 of them found a room and sat down. Tang San knew that Qi Ling looking for him in such a serious manner must have something important, so he didn't dare to neglect it. I came to you because I want you to help me see how much this thing is worth. Qi Ling said, taking out a pill from himself. This is a medicine I developed myself. It's called Shang Ling Dan. Spirit Ascension Pill. Brother, what effect does this medicine have? Tang San asked curiously. The effect is quite simple. So Qi Ling explained the effects of the spirit-raising pill in detail. When he heard that the effect of the Spirit Ascension pill could actually increase the number of years a soul master could absorb soul rings, Tang San had no reaction, but Ning Rongrong cried out in surprise. As the daughter of a sect, she immediately realized how important this drug was to a force, and it might even be the key to the rise of a family. The first and most important thing about this medicine is that it can naturally improve the strength of the young people in your sect and improve the overall strength of everyone in the sect by a large margin. Secondly, if this drug can be monopolized, it will become a commodity, a means, and even a deterrent. If you want to buy this kind of elixir, you must go through your own sect. Doesn't it mean that I can sell it for as much as I want? You can also use this elixir to open up the market, which makes it an extremely domineering commodity. What if you want your descendants to obtain higher-end soul rings? Then you must use my elixir, and if you want to use my elixir, you must listen to me, which makes it a means. And if I don't give you elixirs, but sell them to your hostile forces, will your opponents gradually become stronger than you? That makes it a threat. The significance of this medicine to a sect was far greater than Tang San's hidden weapon. It was a weapon that could truly influence the sect's life and death. Ning Rongrong couldn't help but be excited. Qi Ling, how much does your medicine cost? Do you know the prescription for this medicine? Does anyone else know? Ning Rongrong, excited, immediately asked his questions like a barrage of questions. Slow down, Rongrong, don't be anxious. Qi Ling said with a smile, this is a drug I developed exclusively. At least I haven't seen any drug with the same effect as it yet. Qi Ling, can you give the prescription to me? No, to our Qibao Glazed sect, and we will be responsible for selling this medicine. Ning Rongrong said. Don't worry, we will never treat you badly in terms of terms. Just ask for it. As long as it is within the capabilities of our Seven Treasures Glazed sect, we will never refuse. When Tang San heard what Ning Rongrong said, he also realized the importance of this medicine. He couldn't help but look at Qi Ling curiously, wondering how he would choose. After all, cooperating with a force is not a child's play. My elder brother is far-sighted and will definitely consider everything carefully. After listening to what Ning Rongrong said, Qi Ling laughed and said, Rongrong, why do you think I want to cooperate with the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile sect? In other words, what advantages does the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile sect have compared with other forces? Quote, our Qibao Glazed sect is very powerful, with the highest financial strength among all sects. We also have thousands of disciples. We work at the top of various forces and can provide you with a lot of help. Ning Rongrong said. After hearing this, Qi Ling only shook his head and said, what you said, any sect can do it. I even have a better choice. Wuhun Palace and the Two Empires are far better than the Seven Treasures Glazed sect. A powerful presence. But, Ning Rongrong was speechless, because what Qi Ling said was indeed the truth. Compared with these forces, the Seven Treasures Glazed sect did not have an advantage. She really wanted to say to Qi Ling, couldn't you choose the Seven Treasures Glazed sect because of me? But let's not say whether Qi Ling would agree. As a daughter of the Qibao Glazed sect, her pride would not allow her to say such a thing. More importantly, what if he looks down on himself because of this and thinks that he can take advantage of their relationship for profit? Then what conditions do you need to agree to us? I will try my best to communicate with my father and let him agree to you. Ning Rongrong asked unwillingly. After all, such a good opportunity is right in front of him. She won't give up no matter what. It's very simple. I can promise you to cooperate with the Qibao Glazed sect, and even give you the prescription, so that the Qibao Glazed sect can monopolize the market, as long as you agree to one request of mine. Qi Ling said with a smile. What request? Ning Rongrong swallowed and asked carefully, not knowing what kind of request Qi Ling would make. But since it is such an important decision, his requirements must be quite demanding. I wonder if he will ask for a share of the Qibao Glazed sect's profits, or if he will sign a benefit agreement. Or maybe he wants to gain the rights of Qibao Glazed sect and become an elder. My request is very simple. You can do it now without having to ask your father for instructions. Qi Ling said his request with a smile. Kiss me again and I will promise you. Hearing Qi Ling's request, Tang San and Ning Rongrong were stunned again. Tang San slapped himself on the forehead. His eldest brother was really someone who could never be guessed. Call him crooked, but he can solve everything perfectly, and people can never catch his painful feet. But he was far-sighted, but he could kiss a beautiful woman and easily agree to conditions that would make any sect jealous. Tang San asked himself, if it were him, he would never be able to do this. Maybe this is the uniqueness of his elder brother. Ning Rongrong's face turned red at this moment and she said, haven't I kissed you before? Why do you still? That's different. Last time I kissed the left cheek, this time. Qi Ling said with a bad smile, kiss the right cheek. Ning Rongrong took a deep breath and made up her mind, it wouldn't be the first time anyway, I am familiar with this business. So she quickly pecked Qi Ling's face like a bird, and then ran away quickly. After Ning Rongrong ran away, Tang San said helplessly, brother, I know you love beauty rather than country, but doing this, isn't it still a bit? Haha, mistress, don't get me wrong, Rongrong is just one of the reasons, but in fact, even without her, I will still cooperate with the Qibao Glazed sect. Qi Ling said. What? But, brother, didn't you just say? Tang San asked doubtfully. It is true that the Qibao Glazed sect does not have an advantage in those aspects, but in one aspect, they have an absolute advantage. Qi Ling said. What advantage? Tang San didn't understand. Is there anything else that is more important than what the elder brother just said? It's very simple, Shaosan, the reason why I cooperate with the Qibao Glazed sect is because it is a sect that assists soul masters. Qi Ling said, this is unmatched by all other forces. Auxiliary soul master. But, is there any difference? Tang San still didn't understand what Qi Ling meant. It's different. As an auxiliary soul master, you are destined to rely on others. They themselves have no ambition to compete for hegemony. They are more like an ally than a force. Qi Ling said. In this way, on the one hand, it will be safer to cooperate with them, and on the other hand, it will not conflict with my purpose in the future. Purpose? Brother, what is your purpose? Tang San asked. It's nothing, but this continent is so interesting. How can I live my life like this? Qi Ling said, walking to the window and looking at the vast starry sky outside the window. It seemed that his thoughts were also floated there. Shaosan, I am 12 years old this year, and my life is pretty exciting, but not exciting enough. Qi Ling turned back to look at Tang San, with a burning look in his eyes. So, in 12 years, I will let everyone in the world knows my name, Qi Ling. Tang San looked at the high-spirited Qi Ling and was so shocked that he didn't know what to say. He had never even thought about such a thing. After all, although they can be regarded as unparalleled geniuses, the world is so big and there are so many talented people. Moreover, he is just a student, a mere soul master. How dare he think about such far-off things? How great it would be to let everyone in the world know your name. Brother, I haven't thought about what you said. Tang San said honestly. For him now, hidden weapons are enough for him to study on his own. Shaosan, you are my younger brother. I don't want anyone to mention you and say that you are Qi Ling's younger brother. I want them to say that it is Tang San. Qi Ling looked at Tang San with burning eyes. Said, do you understand the difference? Tang San was such a smart person, he immediately understood the intention of Qi Ling's words, and immediately felt a sense of enlightenment. Yes, if a man is born in this world and cannot become famous and famous throughout the ages, wouldn't his life in this world be in vain? Brother, I understand what you mean. Tang San said, don't worry, I also have my own persistence and will never let you down. Ha ha ha, that's right, this is the Shaosan I know. Qi Ling laughed and said, Shaosan, you must remember that our journey is like the stars and the sea, and it will never have limits. Okay, it's getting late. You should go to bed early. Tomorrow will be very busy. Maybe, someone you are quite familiar with will show up. After saying these words, Qi Ling and Tang San stood up and walked to their rooms. Along the way, Tang San kept thinking about what Qi Ling said, and couldn't calm down for a long time. He could only keep sighing that his elder brother was indeed very human. After returning to the dormitory, Tang San lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling, still unable to calm down. It seemed that he was destined to have a sleepless night tonight. Oscar saw Tang San's look and said, "Xiao San, what does Rongrong want from you? Could it be that he wants to confess to you?" Tang San looked at Oscar playfully and said, "What's wrong, Xiao Ao, haven't you already decided to give up? Are you having second thoughts?" Oscar smiled awkwardly. He had chosen to give up on Ning Rongrong before because he couldn't stand her personality, but now that he saw Ning Rongrong's changes, he had second thoughts. Tang San looked at Oscar's appearance and sighed helplessly. There were some things that it would be better to tell Oscar as soon as possible, otherwise the longer it dragged on, the greater the harm would be to him. "Oscar, if you didn't give up on Ning Rongrong from the beginning, you might still have some chances, but now, I can only advise you to let go as soon as possible. This is for your own good," Tang San said. "Ah, why, mistress, am I that bad?" Oscar asked unwillingly. "No, your conditions are not bad at all. You have a good face and an innate talent of soul power. Your future is limitless. It can be said that you are worthy of anyone," Tang San affirmed. Said. But what Tang San said made Oscar puzzled. "Then, why do you say it's for my own good to make me give up?" "It's very simple, Oscar, let me ask you a question." Tang San sighed helplessly. "Do you think you can beat my elder brother if you compete with him?" Oscar was speechless. Compared with Qi Ling, I am afraid that I will never have a chance to defeat him in my life. "Could it be that, mistress, you mean?" Oscar swallowed and said. "That's it," Tang San said helplessly. "So, Xiao Ao, look at it a bit, and let it go before you get too deep." Oscar was speechless for a while, then suddenly said with relief, "Oh, what a pity, Rongrong is the most beautiful girl I have ever seen. It seems that I can only find someone worse after all." "Not necessarily, maybe you can find someone more beautiful than Rongrong in the future." Tang San comforted Oscar. "Haha, I'll lend you your blessing, mistress." Oscar smiled. "Oh, I really can't imagine, what kind of person do you think can be compared to Boss Chi? God created such a perfect man, he is basically don't let us live." After Zhao Wuji came to Flanders' room, he recounted his experience of going out to him. After learning that they had encountered so many dangers, his expression changed several times and he felt frightened. And after hearing that Qi Ling's third soul ring actually absorbed a 10,000-year soul ring, he was even more surprised and said, 10,000-year soul ring. How is this possible, old Zhao, you must have read it wrong. Chapter 1 How can a 3-spirit ring be 10,000 years old? It's absolutely true, Dean. I saw Qi Ling's soul ring with my own eyes. It's black and shiny. It's definitely the top 10,000-year soul ring, Zhao Wuji said with certainty. But, this is impossible. The absorption of the 10,000-year soul ring by the third soul ring completely breaks the basic theorem of martial souls. It is impossible, Flanders thought deeply. No, this is not impossible. There is a possibility that can completely explain this situation. At this moment, a strange-sounding voice came from outside the door. Hearing this voice, Flanders was overjoyed and said, "Haha, the understanding person is finally here. Lao Zhao, now we don't have to guess here, let's ask the experts." With that said, Flanders welcomed a person in from the door. It was Tang San's teacher, Master Yu Xiaoging. Zhao Wuji had naturally heard of Yu Xiaoging's name for a long time. After all, the number one theoretical figure in the Soul Master world was a resounding title no matter how you put it. After introducing their names to each other, Yu Xiaoging continued, "If it were other people, then this situation would seem very abnormal, but Qi Ling is born with 2 martial souls, and they are the 2 most peculiar martial souls. They can absorbing a 10,000-year soul ring is not surprising at all." Zhao Wuji suddenly realized, so that's it. Why is this kid so ridiculously strong? It turns out it's because of his martial spirit. But who knows, after hearing what Zhao Wuji said, Yu Xiaoging couldn't help laughing and said, "Teacher Zhao Wuji, if you think so, you are absolutely wrong. The Divine Dragon Emperor and the Blood Demon Emperor are indeed the 2 most powerful spirits. They are so powerful that just one of them will cause its host to collapse and die, let alone the coexistence of the 2. If anyone were to let these 2 things exist in his body at the same time, within a year, he would not be able to withstand the tremendous pressure and would either die of energy exhaustion or become insane and go crazy. Only Qi Ling, with his unique conditions and more importantly his tenacity, can control both of them at the same time. And even so, he must absorb the soul rings of both at the same time, and the number of soul rings cannot be lost. The difference is more than 2. Zhao Wuji listened to Yu Xiaoging's words and said in surprise, "This kid actually has such a terrifying talent. Compared with him, those so-called geniuses are nothing like shit to me." Flanders also nodded and said, "These two martial spirits, the Divine Dragon Emperor and the Blood Demon Emperor, are indeed extremely domineering. It is as if Qi Ling was born specifically for these two martial spirits." "No, Flanders, rather than saying that Qi Ling was born for these two martial spirits, I would rather say that these two martial spirits were born for Qi Ling," Yu Xiaoging said lightly. "Qi Ling's future achievements will surely be limitless. We may now be the greatest witnesses in history." Hearing that Yu Xiaoging actually had such expectations for Qi Ling, Zhao Wuji and Flender were immediately shocked and speechless, and it took a long time to recover. "If that's what you said, Xiaoging, then I would like to congratulate you for getting a good apprentice." Flanders congratulated, "With such a student, your wish will surely come true, right?" At this time, Yu Xiaoging gave a helpless smile and said, "Unfortunately, Qi Ling is not my disciple. My disciple is Tang San." "What?" Flanders asked in surprise. Although Tang San was also very good, it could be said that besides Qi Ling, he was the most outstanding, but with the best choice, it was inevitable that people would be surprised. "I did think about taking Qi Ling as my disciple, but Qi Ling is almost not inferior to me in terms of knowledge and knowledge. He and I spend more time discussing martial arts theories together," Yu Xiaoging said. "Is this a teacher-friend relationship? How can I have the nerve to accept him as my disciple? What's more, I can't teach him anything." This time, Flanders was even more shocked than before. For Yu Xiaoging, the #1 theorist in the Soul Master world, to say this, Qi Ling's knowledge has undoubtedly reached a terrifying level. He originally thought that these were due to Yu Xiaoging's good teachings, but he didn't expect that it turned out to be Qi Ling's own talent and intelligence, which he learned without a teacher. Zhao Wuji was confused at this time. How can we teach such a powerful student? He can't teach us enough. No, teacher Zhao Wuji, Flanders, there is one more thing I want to say, that is, please don't treat Qi Ling specially because of these circumstances, Yu Xiaoging said. Qi Ling is a very independent child. He will naturally grow up according to his own plan. Our extra attention to him will make him feel uncomfortable, Flanders said helplessly. Even if we treat him specially, I don't know how to teach him. No, rather, it is really difficult for us to teach these talented children, for fear of delaying them. You don't have to worry about this. Starting tomorrow, I will work with you to educate these children and formulate the most suitable teaching plan for them, Yu Xiaoging said. When Flanders heard this, he was immediately overjoyed and said, "Oh, are you willing to stay, Xiaoging? That's great. This way, we don't have to worry. Let's talk first. The premise of my stay is that their education plan must be exactly what I said," Yu Xiaoging said. "Ha ha ha, that's natural. With you as the #1 theoretical figure in the Soul Master world, of course we won't give random instructions without knowing what's interesting. You can teach us whatever you want," Flanders said with a smile. "Okay, in that case, that's all I have to say today. We'll talk about the rest in the future," Yu Xiaoging said. "I have to go find the mistress. I have to confirm the spider legs you just mentioned with him." "Haha, then I'll go back and have a good rest. I'm exhausted after so many days of hard work," Zhao Wuji said. After all, he who had used the martial soul's true form was not so easy to cultivate. After Yu Xiaoging and Zhao Wuji left one after another, Flanders sat in his chair, staring at the ceiling in a daze, but suddenly laughed. "I never thought that I would have the opportunity to work with Xiaoging. I never thought that we would be able to teach such outstanding students. Okay, let's let our old bones use our last remaining energy. Let everyone in the continent know that the students we teach are the best." On the second day, after everyone had breakfast and arrived at the playground, they found that there was a special figure on the playground, that is the skinny master Yu Xiaoging. After Flender introduced the teachers in the college to everyone, he walked up to Yu Xiaoging and said, "Come on, classmates, next, I want to introduce someone to you in a grand way." He relied on his own research to figure out the top 10 competitive spirits. He is known as the first theoretical person in the Spirit Master world, the most intelligent spirit master, and also Tang San's teacher, Mr. Yu Shaogang. When everyone heard Yu Shaogang's name, they were suddenly surprised. Because of the name of master, they had already heard it mentioned by Qi Ling and Tang San, and they were also full of curiosity about such a legendary figure. I believe you have already heard of the title of master. Now I have to tell you good news. From today on, your future training will be fully handed over to the master. Flender said. Considering how tired you have been these days, I will give you another day off today. Starting tomorrow, classes will officially resume. Master, do you have anything else to say? The master nodded, his face as serious as ever, and said calmly, since there are only 8 of you in the academy now, from now on, I will no longer divide you into 2 parts, the initial and advanced parts, as before, but completely unified teaching. In order to implement the teaching smoothly, I will rank you according to your age. From number 1 to number 7, you are Dai Mubai, Oscar, Tang San, Ma Hongjun, Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, and Zhu Zuqing respectively. What about Boss Qi? Without his name, is he number 8? Ma Hongjun asked doubtfully. Yu Shaogang said. As I said just now, the purpose of giving you numbers is to better implement the teaching plan. Qi Ling's condition is that a special plan must be made for him separately, so now I will assign him number 0. Quote. In the following training, I don't want to hear any different voices. No matter who you are, I will treat them equally. I hope that since you are the sole masters of Monster Academy, when everyone mentions you, the only word they can think of is monster. Quote. Okay, you can now disband and have a free rest. Meet here on time at 6:30 tomorrow morning. I don't want any of you to be late, otherwise, you will receive special training. After all the teachers had left, everyone discussed it and went about their own business. Xiao Wu took Ning Rongrong to the city for shopping, while Ma Hongjun and Dai Mubai went to the Hong Kong shopping mall in the city. In the neighborhood, Oscar went back to his dormitory to sleep, while Tang San went to find a blacksmith shop to continue tinkering with his hidden weapons. As for Qi Ling, he returned to his room and continued to practice. He now mastered more and more things. If he did not digest them in time, he would not be able to use them for his own use. Although everyone only saw Qi Ling's glory days, no one knew that Qi Ling was also the hardest working among them, so hard that he was practicing with special methods even when he was sleeping. Because although I have the help of the system and I can get started with the techniques I have obtained, if I don't gain more insights, the effect will be greatly reduced. This is just like the character skills in the game. Even if you have upgraded it to the highest level, what determines your strength is not only the skill damage, but more importantly, your use of the skills. The skills Qi Ling now masters can be said to be quite comprehensive. They can advance and attack, and retreat and defend. They are all included in terms of speed, attack, defense, and agility. All that needs to be done is to improve further. It wasn't until the lanterns began to fall and it was already dusk that Qi Ling stopped concentrating on practicing, stretched and walked out of his room. Outside his door, Qi Ling met an unexpected person. Zhu Zuqing walked outside with a stern expression. It looked like he had just finished practicing. If Qi Ling is the one who practices the hardest among them, then Zhu Zuqing is definitely the one who practices the most desperately. This girl seems to be willing to do anything in order to become stronger. Sometimes Qi Ling is really afraid that she will go astray and has to remind her all the time. Zuqing, where are you going? Qi Ling subconsciously called her. Hearing Qi Ling's voice, Zhu Zuqing stopped and said in her cold voice, the previous appointment with Zhao Lei with the bloody handprint is due today. I will go to the Great Soul Fighting Arena to keep the appointment. Qi Ling slapped himself on the forehead, and he actually forgot about it. Then Zhao Lei was still hit by his bone-transforming cotton palm. If he didn't detoxify him today, he would really die. Are you confident that you can defeat him? Do you need my help? Qi Ling asked Zhu Zuqing. No, I want to give it a try and see where my limits are. After Zhu Zuqing finished speaking, he stopped and walked outside the school. Although Qi Lingxi admired Zhu Zuqing's spirit, according to Qi Ling's estimation, even if Zhao Lei did not dare to kill because of his scruples, Zhu Zuqing would not be his opponent. After all, he had agreed at the beginning that if he lost, even if he was unlucky, if he won, it would be written off. Zhao Lei did not dare not try his best. Well, I hope this experience will not have a big impact on Zhu Zuqing. Qi Ling said helplessly. At dinner time, everyone in the college also rushed back one after another. After a day of rest, everyone had something to gain. Xiao Wu and Ning Rongrong brought back a lot of things in large and small bags. Dai Mubai and Ma Hongjun also had rosy and shiny faces, obviously in a good mood. As for Tang San, he finally found a suitable blacksmith shop and could entrust them to mass-produce hidden weapon parts. Although Tang San could still only make the core parts himself, it undoubtedly reduced a lot of his burden. After everyone finished their dinner, they walked towards the dormitory together. Suddenly, they found that Zhu Zuqing also walked in from outside the school, planning to go back to his dormitory. Zuqing, where have you been today? Neither Rongrong nor I found you. Xiao Wu stepped forward and said to Zhu Zuqing. It's nothing, I went to practice, Zhu Zuqing said. Zuqing, don't just focus on cultivation. You should relax yourself occasionally. Ning Rongrong also stepped forward and said, you are so beautiful, it would be a pity not to buy some new clothes. Well, I understand. After Zhu Zuqing said that, he hurriedly left alone. Seeing this, everyone had no choice but to give up. After all, Zhu Zuqing's cold temper had not lasted for a day or two. Everyone had already gotten used to it, so they each went back to their dormitories. Only Qi Ling looked at Zhu Zuqing's leaving figure, shook her head helplessly, and then followed her up. When will this girl get rid of her stubbornness? Qi Ling thought helplessly. Zhu Zuqing, who was walking to the dormitory alone, became increasingly uglier and his steps became more and more difficult after seeing no one else. Finally, when she walked to the door of her dormitory, she couldn't bear it anymore. She held her hand on the door frame and spurted out a mouthful of blood. Seeing that Zhu Zuqing was about to lose consciousness and fainted at the door of her dormitory, a pair of powerful thugs supported her at this moment. At the same time, a strong force came from her, which made her blood flow smoothly. Zhu Zuqing reluctantly looked up and saw Qi Ling's helpless and distressed expression. Girl, who are you trying to show your strength to? If you want to become stronger, it's not such a desperate way. I want to become stronger. I have to become stronger. Zhu Zuqing said stubbornly, if I can't become stronger, I would rather die. Qi Ling, let me become stronger. No matter what method you use, no matter what price you have to pay, as long as I can become stronger, I won't hesitate. Ding dong. It is detected that the host is facing Zhu Zuqing's request. Please choose from the following options. Option 1. Reject Zhu Zuqing's request and let Zhu Zuqing find a way to practice on his own, and receive rewards. Zhu Zuqing's favorability will be cleared, his martial soul affinity will be cleared, the chance of Zhu Zuqing's death will be 30%, and the host will be awarded the title of Heart of Iron. Option 2. Accept Zhu Zuqing's request, be responsible for making her stronger, and choose a cultivation path that suits you for Zhu Zuqing. Get rewards. Zhu Zuqing's favorability plus 20%, martial soul affinity plus 10, and a new system function, character development function. Qi Ling wondered if he had read it wrong. What was the character development function of this character? Did he come through time travel, or did he come here playing games? But no matter what, if you don't make a choice, the new system functions will not be enabled, and you will not be able to know the content of the new functions. What's more, as for the consequences of the first option, I can't choose it. Otherwise, how can I pick up girls with the title of hard-hearted? Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for choosing option 2. Accept Zhu Zuqing's choice and make the choice for her. Reward obtained. Zhu Zuqing's favorability plus 20%, Wuhun affinity plus 10, new system function enabled, character development function. Oh, okay, I know, I really can't do anything to you. Qi Ling said helplessly, I'll make you stronger, okay. Can you not die? You promised me, Zhu Zuqing said unexpectedly. That's not good. If I don't agree to you, you will be bloody on the spot. Qi Ling said helplessly, but if you want me to agree to you, I have a condition first. What conditions? Zhu Zuqing's heart tightened. She was fully prepared. No matter what Qi Ling asked for, even if it was for her own body, she would not refuse. The request is very simple. Qi Ling said, taking out a pair of Chinese medicine from behind, go back, drink it up, and then have a good sleep. This is. Zhu Zuqing looked at the medicine in his hand in confusion, not understanding what Qi Ling meant. Here's the medicine for healing and conditioning. Qi Ling said, in your current state, you can't do anything. Go back and rest quickly. After drinking this medicine, you will be back to your original state tomorrow. Tomorrow the master will start training for us. After the training is over, at 12 o'clock in the evening, if you still insist on coming to me, I promise to make you stronger. Zhu Zuqing was confused by Qi Ling. Is his request over now? Just let yourself go back to have a good rest and recuperate your injuries. Looking at Qi Ling's back as he turned to leave, Zhu Zuqing couldn't help but stop him and said, Qi Ling, you don't think too much. No matter what your reasons are, as long as you work hard with your companions, you will become stronger sooner or later. Qi Ling turned around and rubbed Zhu Zuqing's hair and said, trust me, okay. Okay. Zhu Zuqing nodded, but his heart felt like a mess because no one had ever treated him like this. After returning to his room, Qi Ling couldn't wait to open the system interface and check out the functions of this character development system. After preliminary research, Qi Ling found that this function was similar to what he imagined. To put it simply, Qi Ling could use the system to make choices for others and decide their cultivation direction. This is like a character development game. You can decide the skills they practice, the weapons they use, and the direction they focus on during practice. However, as for what they will develop into in the end, it varies from person to person. At the same time, this system will also evaluate various attributes of the character, so that the host can train the character based on these data. Among these data, the most representative and important data are undoubtedly two data, potential level and combat effectiveness evaluation. These two attributes can basically represent the overall status of the character. The potential level indicates the character's future development potential, which is related to how much achievements a person can achieve in the future. People with too low potential can basically give up training. Combat strength represents a character's current comprehensive combat level, which is comprehensively scored according to a standard. Of course, this score is only a reference. There are too many accidental factors that need to be considered in actual combat. For example, a control-type Soul Master can defeat an attack-type Soul Master even if his combat power rating is much lower. A defensive-type Soul Master can even defeat an agility-based attack-type Soul Master. In addition, auxiliary Soul Masters do not participate in this rating. In addition, the system will also perform some simple analysis on the characters and summarize the characteristics of the characters, so that the host can judge the appropriate options. Taking Shrek's group as an example, Zhu Zuqing's rating is S-level potential, 49 points in combat effectiveness, a level 27 agility attack Soul Master, dark affinity attribute, and firm will. Dai Mubai has S-level potential, 75 combat points, a level 37 attack type Soul Master, affinity attribute light, impulsive and irritable. Ma Hongjun has an S-level potential, a combat power of 56 points, a level 26 attack type Soul Master, an affinity for fire, and has many bad hobbies. It can be said that the evaluation of each of them is quite accurate, and the potential of everyone in Shrek Academy is above S, which is enough to show Flender's vision. But as the system said, these data are only a reference after all, and cannot be used to completely judge a person's status. Tang San, for example, is an example. Tang San has SS level potential, 103 combat power points, level 31 control Soul Master, affinity attributes to wood and water, calm and witty, and has the talent of a general. If you look at Tang San according to this standard, he is just a relatively outstanding Soul Master, but Qi Ling knows that Tang San's various methods are more than even the Soul Master can bear. If this new function can only view personal attributes, then it is just an observation tool at best and of little value. Its real function is still in the word nurture, but this function cannot be used until Zhu Zuqing comes tomorrow. Early the next morning, when everyone woke up from their sleep and came to the cafeteria, what was placed on the table was an extremely rich breakfast, including meat and vegetables and soup, which made everyone think that they had entered the restaurant by mistake. What hotel? These are naturally the work of Master Yu Shaogang. He knows that education cannot only focus on form. For these teenagers who are in the growing period, diet is equally important. Everyone looked at the table full of delicacies, and naturally their appetites were greatly increased. Yu Xiaogang was naturally very happy when he saw them devouring the food. It's just that after everyone finished eating, Ma Hongjun was still nowhere to be seen. Needless to say, he must have overslept. As the laziest among them, this is normal. Yu Xiaogang saw that Ma Hongjun was missing among the crowd, so he didn't say anything. Instead, he motioned to those who had eaten breakfast to gather with him at the big playground to start today's training. After everyone gathered in the playground and performed preparatory exercises for half an hour, Ma Hongjun arrived late and said carelessly, "Master, I'm sorry, I got up late, so I'm late." The master said indifferently, "Go in and stand in the queue." When everyone stood up, Yu Xiaogang said, "I don't want anyone to be late for breakfast tomorrow. Food needs to be digested after eating and cannot be exercised immediately, so those who have not arrived within half an hour, there's no need to have breakfast. Everyone did a good job today, only Ma Hongjun was late. I said yesterday that those who are late will be given special training." The master looked at Ma Hongjun. "Ma Hongjun, get out of the queue." "Ah, oh." Ma Hongjun came out disapprovingly and said with a playful smile, "Master, this is my first time, please let me go. Once the rules are established, there are no exceptions that can be exempted. So I will prepare special training for you," Yu Xiaogang said without mercy. "Oh, okay, master, how are you going to train me?" Ma Hongjun said disapprovingly. Although Flanders had said that Yu Xiaogang was the first person in Soul Master theory and Tang San's teacher, in his heart, Ma Hongjun still didn't take this teacher with useless martial souls seriously, that's why he was so undisciplined. Yu Xiaogang naturally knew this very well, but if he couldn't cure even one Ma Hongjun, how could he teach these little monsters well? "Your training content is very simple, Qi Ling, come out," Yu Xiaogang said. "You will be responsible for Ma Hongjun's training for 1 hour. After an hour, if Ma Hongjun still has the strength to stand, then Qi Ling, within this week, your breakfast will return to its original level." After hearing the master's training methods, everyone showed a confused expression, especially Ma Hongjun, whose eyes almost fell out of his head. "Boss Qi, will you show mercy to your brothers?" Ma Hongjun said to Qi Ling tremblingly. "Ma Hongjun, you didn't come this morning, so there's one thing you don't know," Qi Ling said eagerly. "The food cooked by the master is really delicious." Seeing Ma Hongjun being dragged away by one foot by Qi Ling like a piglet waiting to be slaughtered, everyone swallowed involuntarily. The master's trick of using a borrowed sword to kill someone is really good. "Okay, everyone else, don't look around. Your training must continue," Yu Xiaogang continued. "Dai Mubai, come out." Yes, Dai Mubai took a step forward. Although he acted arrogantly and unruly, he was definitely a good player at following orders. "I'll give you a task, knock down all the remaining ones one by one," Yu Xiaogang said. "If you are ready, you can start." Although everyone was very puzzled, they still followed Yu Xiaogang's instructions and completed the training. It was not until an hour later that Qi Ling returned to the team again, but he was alone and Ma Hongjun was missing. "Qi Ling, where is Ma Hongjun? How was your training result?" Yu Xiaogang asked. "Reporting to Master, the mission has been successfully completed. Ma Hongjun is lying on the bed in the medical room now. I promise not to get up." Qi Ling took a step forward and said with his head held high. Yu Xiaogang, everyone in Shrek. "Qi Ling, I did say that I want you to train Ma Hongjun well so that he has no strength to stand up again, but that's not what I meant." Yu Xiaogang wiped the sweat from his forehead and said. Qi Ling blinked innocently and said, "Master, Ma Hongjun had cramps in his calves, so he went to the medical room to rest. Is there anything wrong with this?" "Ah, this." Yu Xiaogang almost fell. I thought you." "Ahem, okay, now that Qi Ling is back, let's continue our training." Yu Xiaogang coughed twice in embarrassment. "Through the training just now, I have a general understanding of your strength. For the rest of today's training, you only have 3 things to do." Yu Xiaogang stretched out 3 fingers and said, "The first thing is to defend against Qi Ling's attack. The second thing is to break Qi Ling's defense. The third thing is to hold on for 1 second under Qi Ling's hand." What Yu Xiaogang meant was that these 3 events involved 6 people from Shrek and 1 person from Qi Ling, but the events were different. Although they bullied the few, no one felt slighted at all. Likewise, there was no feeling that they could win. There is no other reason, because that is Qi Ling. The gap in strength between everyone and him cannot be made up by numbers. This is simply an impossible task. Ding dong. It is detected that the host is facing Yu Xiaoging's selection task. Please make a choice among the following options. Option 1. Let go of the duel between the Shrek 7 monsters, let the Shrek 7 monsters win, and get rewards. Yu Xiaozhang's sensitivity -20%, soul power level -1, and gold soul coins +100. Option 2. Defeat the Shrek 7 monsters according to the rules set by Yu Xiaoging, and receive rewards. The movement skill, 3000 Thunder movements, has been upgraded to the second level, Thunder Instant. The training progress of the skill, 9 turns of True Dragon Art, upgraded to the second level of Zochin Realm. Artifact, Immortal Binding Rope repaired, current artifact integrity is 20%. Qi Ling felt that the corner of his mouth was crooked. There was no need to choose between these two options. It would be a shame if you didn't choose the second option. The 3 rewards, whether it is the improvement of the progress of the skills or the repair of the artifact Binding Fairy Rope, are very important improvements in strength for Qi Ling and are choices that must be accepted. So although I feel very sorry for the 7 people, Qi Ling must win in the subsequent competition. But this is good. In this way, the strength of the 7 people will be fully displayed in front of the master, which will make their future training more convenient. Qi Ling comforted herself in her heart. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for choosing option 2, defeating the Shrek 7 monsters and receiving rewards. The movement skill, 3000 Thunder movements, has been upgraded to the second level, Thunder Instant. The training progress of the skill, 9 turns of True Dragon Art, has been upgraded to the second level, the Realm of Zochin. Artifact, Immortal Binding Rope is repaired. The current integrity of the artifact is 20%. Ouch, ouch, Master, I suddenly feel a stomachache. After hearing the master's training content, Oscar immediately covered his stomach and said in great pain. The master naturally didn't even bother to look at Oscar's little trick. Anyone who doesn't want to participate in this training will be trained by Qi Ling alone in the future. Hey, my stomach suddenly doesn't hurt anymore. Do you think it's strange or not? Oscar said excitedly. He didn't want to end up like Ma Hongjun. If you want to defend against Qi Ling's punch, then you naturally need to gather all the strength of everyone to be able to do it, because everyone does not think that they can have the defensive power of Zhao Wuji. Sadai Mubai, the offensive spirit master, stood at the front without hesitation, while Xiao Wu and Zhu Zuqing stood behind him on either side, sharing the impact of the attack for him. Tang San used his blue-silver grass to create a protective shield. At the same time, he stood between Xiao Wu and Zhu Zuqing, mediating the control of power. In the end, Ning Rongrong and Oscar, after using their auxiliary soul skills, stood behind Xiao Wu and Zhu Zuqing. Although they were auxiliary soul masters, facing Qi Ling, even a little more strength would be good. The 6 people formed a pyramid formation to deal with Qi Ling's attack. This was the best formation they could think of, but they still felt unsure. Are you ready? I'm going to do it. Qi Ling asked with a smile and raised his fist. Hearing Qi Ling say that he was ready, everyone couldn't help but swallow, and concentrated their energy to prepare for the attack from Qi Ling. By the way, Qi Ling, control the intensity enough to defeat them, but not hurt them. Yu Xiaoging said, there will be training next. If they are all injured, it will be difficult. When everyone heard Yu Xiaoging's previous words, they were a little moved. They thought he was afraid that a few of them would be injured, so they specifically told Qi Ling to be gentle. But who knew that Yu Xiaoging asked Qi Ling to be gentler so as not to affect the subsequent training, which immediately made everyone scream devil in their hearts. Destroy them without hurting them. Qi Ling thought to himself, then it seems that is the only way. But if you use that move, they will probably feel that it is better to get hurt. If you want to blame, just blame the master. Everyone who was concentrating on defense suddenly felt a chill on their bodies, as if something bad was about to happen. Boss Qi can't really kill all of us with one punch, right? Oscar said calmly at this time, no matter how powerful he is, he can't hit 6 people at the same time, right? If it were someone else, Xiao Ao, your idea might still be right. Tang San said helplessly, but if it were someone else, I think we only need to consider how to withstand the attack. Ah, this, Oscar thought, and it seemed like this was what happened. It doesn't matter, my big sausage will recover from the injury very quickly. Are you ready, all of you? Qi Ling said with a smile. Ground your teeth, muster your strength, I will only punch you one time, just one punch. Dragon Emperor. Possession, second soul skill, Tyrant Dragon Fist. Qi Ling's right fist was once again attached with huge soul power. The heavy pressure made everyone in Shrek feel almost suffocated. Only now did they understand that this was how the enemies felt when facing Qi Ling. It was really hard for them to fight under such pressure. This is also because after Qi Ling obtained the third soul ring, the dragon power pressure of the Divine Dragon Emperor became more and more powerful. Now, as long as the strength is below the soul sect, people will be more or less affected when facing Qi Ling. Suppress. Against the Shrek 6, Qi Ling did not use the charged, super, Tyrant Dragon Fist, this time. What he wanted to experiment with was another attack method. As we all know, the more concentrated power is, the greater its power and attack power will be, and the higher the damage it will cause. Power that is extremely compressed to a point can even exceed power dozens of times greater than it. However, Qi Ling's tyrannical fist is the opposite. Instead of concentrating his power, he pursues a kind of dominance, a sense of overwhelming and oncoming suffocation. After deliberately amplifying the characteristics of tyrannical fist, Qi Ling added a few other things into it. The combination of the two is enough to produce astonishing power. That thing is vibration. After his 9 transformation true dragon art reached the second level of great perfection, Qi Ling found that he had become more comfortable in controlling power, and could even control the vibrations caused by his power. Adding the vibration attribute to the attack of Tyrannosaurus Fist can produce an ultimate destructive power. This is the latest move developed by Qi Ling, the long fist, air shock. Everyone, if you can't hold it anymore, tell me in time. Qi Ling said, swinging his right fist, because this is my first time to use this punch, I may not be able to control the strength well. Quote. After Qi Ling's punch came out, everyone in Shrek felt that the air around them was suddenly affected by a tyrannical force and began to shake violently. Tang San's blue-silver grass was the first to bear the brunt, being shattered into pieces by the violent vibration, and had no protective effect at all. Next is Dai Mubai. He is already at his peak when he uses the White Tiger Vajra transformation and the White Tiger protective barrier. With the assistance of Ning Rongrong and Oscar, he feels that even if he fights against a soul sect, he will still be able to defeat him. The power of war. But the moment he came into contact with Qi Ling's fist, Dai Mubai knew that he was wrong, and it was very wrong. The shocks coming from all directions were like countless sharp scalpels, cutting every cell in his body, causing his endurance to reach its limit in an instant. In this endless shock attack, Dai Mubai felt like a small boat in the huge waves, and there was a possibility of being overturned by the waves at any time. Xiao Wu and Zhu Zuqing, who were following Dai Mubai, had expressions of pain in an instant. Even though the two of them were not good at defense, even though they endured less pressure than Dai Mubai, they were no less hard-working than him. But the person who bears the most pressure is still Tang San, who is in the middle and supporting the situation, because he knows that no matter what, he cannot take a step back. As long as he retreats, the formation will be broken, and the few of him will be equal to losing. The pressure faced by these people, instead of gradually decreasing, is slowly increasing, as if Qi Ling is constantly testing the limits of these people, increasing the pressure on them little by little. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.